Confirmed. All right, here we go. So we're doing this in a slightly different format, as you can see. Some of you, because there are peer mentors here, have been to a welcome previously, and I'm going to show you just a small image of what that would normally be like. I have here, and I'm going to show you on a couple of different slides, some biochemistry related art. The one, I'm going to move one more toolbar just as I get started. The one that I'm showing here is the first of several that I'm going to show you to try to kind of evoke the idea of some of the beauty in biochemistry. This one, some of you will have heard of before. This is taught a binding protein, very famous in the biochemistry world. It bends DNA and makes it more accessible for transcription. I'm going to show you a few more. This is a painting of one of the most famous regulatory complexes in biochemistry, but I like it as an opening image. So what we're going to do today is just a few things, nothing too complicated. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and I think I will be able to, oh no, it's in participants. I'm going to be able to mute everyone. There we go. I'm going to just talk about the biochemistry program a little bit. And these are in a couple of different headings, but not for too long. And then I'm going to talk about the biochemistry program, and you'll get introductions from a few of the club executive board, and we'll talk about the peer mentoring groups, and hopefully we'll have a chance for you to break out into peer mentoring groups just for a couple of minutes. And there's going to be a couple of assignments throughout your first year, and I'll give you a sample of what the September assignment will look like. There's going to be prizes as we go through your time together in your first year, and there'll be a little bit of time for biochemistry program questions. So as I mentioned, some art along the way. I'm a huge fan. The first one that I have here is a painting of one of the proteases, and I like it. It's mystical, and it's just a rendering of the backbone of one of the enzymes that's able to chew other proteins up. This is a view of where we would have been in a typical year, but this is actually a little bit of an advantage that we're doing our meet and greet in this format. We've already established, just before the recording started, there are a couple of the peer mentors who are actually on co-op right now and are able to step out and be with us, even though they're not physically on campus right now. So it's pretty nice that we're able to join each other in this format. But I just put over on the right, East Village. Typically in the last couple of years, we've been having these sessions in a classroom in East Village. So I can definitely picture it. And some of you among the peer mentors have been in one of those sessions in previous years. I think that we can still very easily give the new students a warm welcome in this format, no problem, and get you to meet some of the people who are important in our program. So I'll just say a little bit about biochemistry in case you're not familiar and are just thinking, well, what kind of a major is it? What is it like? Who would like such a thing? Do people graduate from this kind of a major? I can answer those questions. So first of all, biochemistry, I don't think it's hyperbole to say that it'll always be relevant. I'll just give a couple of examples. First of all, the RNA polymerase that's responsible for copying coronaviruses like SARS-CoV-2. I'm showing over here. This is something that we need to understand if we're going to be able to develop therapies or preventative agents for things like coronavirus. That's of relevance right now in the current pandemic. I also have an image of cyclin-dependent kinases that are very relevant in cancer treatments, just as another example of the kinds of proteins that we need to be able to understand the structure of if we're interested in cancer and other similar diseases that might be related to replication of cells. And then just one other example, I could have picked so many for this slide, but something that's a favorite for me, is environmental problems. Here, I just picked an example of an enzyme that's involved in understanding problems related to biodegradable plastics. And so I just picked 3 examples: pandemics, cancers, environmental problems. Biochemistry is always going to be relevant for these reasons, many others as well. Who loves biochemistry? I made a short list of attributes. I could have made it much longer than this, believe me. First of all, I think people who love beautiful things, like biochemistry. And this is a painting, an artistic rendering of a virus. Viruses are very symmetrical. This is a particular type of virus. I'm going to give a link at the end if you want to see some paintings related to biochemistry, but just a really short list of attributes. People who like things that are relevant, people who admire efficiency, people who like solving puzzles, people who admire how amazing it is that we look at the structures and then we appreciate how incredibly functional something like DNA is, something like a protein is, and people who appreciate teamwork, people who want to make a contribution to societal needs. I already mentioned just appreciation of the beauty in the structures that we have: membranes, proteins, RNA, DNA, all of our organelles, and all of the components that go into them. That's a short list of some of the attributes that people who really appreciate biochemistry tend to have. It's a growing program. And one of my missions as I became the director of the biochemistry program, which started this summer, was that I really wanted to take a look at what our graduates have done and not give a generic list of careers that biochemistry majors might go into. So I'm going to give you a list of definite careers that our graduates have been going into. I'm a person that you can talk to if you want to get definite answers. I'll start with just a graph of the trend in our graduate numbers. It's going up. If you take a look near the end, 2019, 2020, it looks like it's leveling off, but it's not. It's increasing sharply. That's because we now have a combined major with chemical engineering. And so we're starting to see that some students are choosing to do a combined major. And so overall, our number of graduates is continuing to increase. As I said, some actual examples of what students do after graduating with this major, not just a hypothetical list of, maybe you could do this after you graduate, but I'm really looking at what our students do after graduating. Some students go into medicine afterwards, could be MD, could be physician's assistant. Some go into biotechnology. Some of them don't get an advanced degree after, but some of them do. It could be a master's, could be a PhD. Sometimes they go into more the business side. Could be academia. They might go into teaching. They might get a PhD first, or sometimes not. Sometimes they go into teaching at other levels, secondary school, for example. Sometimes they go into pharmacy, sometimes law, genetic counseling, nursing, consulting, that sort of thing. And so I'm an appropriate person to talk to if you are interested in more about what the degree can do for you. That goes for when you're early in your program, but it also goes for when you're approaching graduation as well. And as I'll say later, I've really been trying to develop our Canvas site more so that you can get a deeper understanding of what the resources are to help you as you approach graduation. We're going to do some introductions now. First, starting with me, I'm the program director now. I've been the program director just since July, but I've been associated with the program since I got here in 2014. And so I don't have too much else to say in terms of an introduction about myself. I teach biochemistry related courses, mostly the biochemistry course, 3611. And I also am the academic advisor for the Biochemistry Club. So I tend to know the club executive board pretty well. All of us are going to give a fun fact. I'll show you why afterwards. It's because I want to give a sample of the submission that I want the peer mentoring groups to give for September. So I need to have an image over on the left that relates to our fun fact. Really, floor hockey is my fun fact, but other people that I'm about to introduce, they also had sports related ones. I wanted mine to be more water related. So I like swimming as well. So I wanted an image to go along with my fun fact. Something that I really love and admire as a biochemist is green fluorescent protein and all of the other fluorescent proteins. They were first discovered in jellyfish, and then site-directed mutagenesis allowed us to go from green fluorescent protein to all of the other fluorescent proteins. And down below is a very famous image on a petri dish of all of these colors of bacteria that express the different glowing fluorescent proteins being used as a painting palette. It's really spectacular. And so for my fun fact, I'm just going to say, love water, love glowing proteins. I'm going to move on and introduce you to some other members of our team, and then I'm going to use their fun facts to also have an image, and then use those images to show you our sample submission, like what you will do for the September peer mentoring assignment. So what we have up next, it's going to be Otonya. If she's here, we have 109 participants, so I didn't get to see whether her name is popping up yet. Otonya, did you make it here? I'll introduce her otherwise. She's brand new, and you know, it would be amazing if we could have a search function. I'm doing a quick search under O though. She did not make it here yet. She's brand new. We just hired her. She's going to be teaching bioanalytical chemistry, and also one of the first year chemistry courses as well. She just started, so she's just ramping up. And her fun fact is that she loves hiking and she loves singing. You're going to get to know her. She's going to be invited to one of the biochemistry club evenings at some point when she gets settled in a little bit more. So what I put for her related to her fun fact is the entire mitochondria. Powerful, our source of ATP. That's what I chose to represent her. So I hope you get to meet her soon, and let's move on. It's going to be Chris. In my little window, since he spoke to me most recently, he's popped up already. He's the co-op coordinator, and I'll put this up, and let's hear a little bit. Chris.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Egan. I really only go by Christopher when I'm in trouble with the Boston police on my mother, so please call me Chris. A lot of you folks won't get to know me really until sophomore year, but I'm happy to help anybody even as early as this fall if you're thinking about securing a part-time position in the city of Boston or somewhere on campus. I do recommend, if you're somebody with work study, to think about securing a position in somebody's lab. And even if the work in the lab is somewhat at a more junior level, I would recommend it. It will help you greatly when you go to secure your first co-op. So I often say to people, if you have work study, don't, secure a job in terms of giving out towels and locks at the gym, even though this semester that might be not even happening, but you get the message. Try to get something that's pertaining to the major. I can't stress that enough. I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary with the university this past June, and my first position with the university was to support the bioinformatics and biotechnology co-op programs. And I did that for the first 3 years, and then I shifted over to the undergraduate team. So I've been the lone biochemistry co-op person for about 7 years, and the program is getting bigger and bigger as time goes on. And so typically I work with a good number of students every cycle. We, in this last cycle, probably had close to 100 students that were seeking 6-month co-ops. And as you may know, our placement period is traditionally either from January to June or July through December. So sometimes people will say, you know, can I go to Paris? Can I go to London? Can I go to Manhattan for my co-op? And the answer is yes. We do have a global program. We do send people outside the state of Massachusetts for co-ops as well. So it's something to keep on the back burner. I often find when I work with the biochemistry students that they're interested in doing 2 co-ops within 4 years. At times, I do speak to students that want to do 3 co-ops within 5 years. But I would say about 85% of our students do 2 co-ops within 4 years. In terms of our program, most of our students are paid and they receive a really healthy hourly salary in many cases. And so I would say it probably boils down to about 95% of our students earning a paid position versus an unpaid co-op position. Switching gears to something softer, I'm a runner and I run typically at lunch when I'm at the university. As you can see, I'm in my dining room now. I'm not at the university like many of us, but I did actually get the green light to return to the university. This is all really based upon having back surgery this past July. So the dean's office gave me the green light to come back and work out of my office because I have a really awesome chair and desk that's appropriate. Here in my home, I'm often at the dining room table or in the kitchen at the island, and it's really not ideal in terms of being a bad back guy. So I'm on hold for running. I hope to return in January in terms of running. And as a PS, I actually have run the Falmouth Road Race for 17 years. This was the first year that it was canceled, obviously due to COVID-19, but it's something that I really love and I try and do it every year. We're fortunate that we have a second home in Falmouth and we're just down the road from the finish line for the Falmouth Road Race. So after I finish, I can roll home because we're so super close. And that's it for me.
Chris, thank you. If I didn't know you, I feel like I know you now. So I took Chris's fun fact about being a runner, which it happened that I already knew. And I gave him collagen, which is important in joints. And I got some art. And the image on the left, I really like it. It's kind of like from what's similar to Leonardo da Vinci's sketchbook, sort of. But I also got a geometrically accurate 3D image on the right. It's this coiled coil structure. It's very much what you would see at Home Depot if you went and you wanted to buy rope. It's a coil of coils. What we make as rope is similar to what the human body already did do long before humans were making rope. It's a really fantastic structure. Very important for people who are engaged in movement. So that's what I'm giving him as his image. Next, I have David Dawson. I think I did see that he is here, and I'll put this up as he introduces himself.
Hello, everyone. I'm David Dawson. I'm one of the 2 academic advisors for biochemistry, along with Nathan Richardson. As you see up there, we teach the Biochemistry 1000 course, which first-year students are enrolled in. We also help you with a lot of the administrative things that you have to do throughout your time here at Northeastern, and are kind of the first person to contact when you have a question. Even though we may not be able to be the people to give you the answer, we typically know who can give you that answer that you're looking for. I've been at Northeastern since 2016. I was originally in the Marine and Environmental Sciences Department out in the Hot, and then I moved down here to work with undergraduate students as an academic advisor about 2 years ago. And as you see there, and my fun fact is that I performed as a double bassist in 3 European countries. I still play music now. I performed all over Boston until obviously things have changed a little bit. But I enjoy playing music quite a bit, and it was part of what I did in my undergraduate before graduating with an English degree. So I look forward to working with you all. And if you have any questions, always feel free to email me, as I'm happy to work with you as best I can.
Thanks, David. This was an extremely fun fact for me because I did not know this about David. I learned it for the purposes of this presentation. At first, I didn't know biochemistry-wise what to do with this fun fact. However, I looked up proteins that are involved in hearing and can be in the genome deleted that can cause deafness, and I came across this one, harmanin, and so I'm giving that one to David. Pretty interesting. This is only a partial version of the protein, and it doesn't have a fringe. Whenever there's a wavy part, that means uncertainty. When there's a solid part, that means we know the structure. So it's not a fringy kind of a protein, but this is a protein that we need for our hearing. And so I thought it was a good one for David. I looked, and I believe Nathan is not here. It's great that we can have one out of the two academic advisors. They're busy. They're very busy all the time, but that includes at this time of the year. I gave him the same description. He's been here a little bit longer. I learned this fun fact for this presentation as well. I did not know it before. He uses hot yoga for recovery after work and after class. What to do for a biochemistry related image that goes along with hot yoga? I had to think about that one as well. I gave cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol is very small and it's not a protein. It's tiny, it binds to a receptor. So I gave the corticosteroid receptor with cortisol bound to it. That's gonna be his image for later use. So he has a similar description. He's similarly helpful. He has a parallel role to David, but there are so many biochemistry majors. So your advisor might be David, it might be Nathan. You're assigned to one or the other. And then we have Maureen. I know that Maureen is here. Her description is here, and let's have her introduce herself next.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good to see you all. I'm Maureen, and I'm the administrative assistant with the biochemistry program. I've been with the university for 7 years. It's the 7th year now, and I've had so much fun working with students. And usually I'm in my office in 203, but I'm working remotely right now. So, but you guys can always reach me at my email address or by phone. I'll be happy to answer your questions. And if I cannot answer, I'll make sure I get you to someone who will be able to answer your questions. I'm an avid gardener, and you know, I work with my flowers after work, weekends. Most time I'm in my garden. So it's winding down right now, but they're still looking good. But good to see you all, and I will be talking.
Thanks, Maureen. So Maureen does a lot of the behind the scenes finances. She's also a good point of contact for you. If you have questions and you're not sure who to ask, she can point you in the right direction. She sent me a photo of her flowers. I'm not gonna use it. It turned out, maybe for another purpose. I decided to go with something more protein focused, but then no, I decided to give her the entire chloroplast. So this is gonna be her image for use a little bit later on. So we're going to transition a little bit, and I just want to make sure that you're aware we have a brand new Biochem Undergrads Canvas site. It's still going to be in development. We just got it in July, and I've done a lot of work on it already. I have some ideas for additional tweaking and modifications and updates to make to it, but I've done a lot of work on it already. And you'll see it listed in your courses. If you make it one of your favorites, then it'll be in your dashboard as well. And all of your current courses you should put in your dashboard. I'd say put biochemistry undergrads there as well. I mean, I do. So what you'll see is various modules that I have made, and there are things that I think you would find useful. If you see something that you think is missing, we made a form, you can report it there, we'll check it, but also you can let me know, or you can let Marlene know, and we can make it for you. That's pretty likely. I'm just showing an image of it's partial of one of them, information overview for newer biochemistry students. There's also one for students who are approaching graduation, and then many others as well. Just looking at the direct link, this is how you could get there, and then also the current modules. I'll just pull out a couple of examples. We've been collecting some recent publications so journal articles that have biochemistry undergrads as authors. Pretty interesting, you can take a look. And how would you know if you might want to pursue an advanced degree after your biochemistry degree? Some considerations. Of course, you can talk to me about that, but here are some things you could look at beforehand. Some other modules are listed here, but of course, you should go to the Biochem undergrads Canvas site, and you can check them all out. When you apply for co-op or other positions, what will go on your resume? Of course, Chris Egan is going to take you through all of that. I just want to use this as a jumping off point to talk about Biochemistry Club. So I just have a quick mock-up that I did of your resume if you're a brand new student here. You're gonna have your name at the top, you're gonna have your education and some educational accomplishments maybe you'll list your relevant courses. Sometimes it's popular to list that and then put an asterisk and then with lab, just so you can hit people really hard with, oh yes, I've been taking labs, don't worry about me. Maybe list some lab skills, that's possible. Work experience, hopefully, especially over time. What about leadership or other involvement? Oh, but let's go back. What about leadership? Wouldn't that be great? It would be so nice if you had some leadership to put in there. And then down at the bottom, professional references, keep it in mind if you're a new student. That's really something that you want to do, is think about who is going to speak on your behalf if needed. Having professors who can do that, that's a really important thing to be able to do. Some positions require that you list references. So who will know you well? And how are you going to get to know professors well? Have a plan. Try to be an active member of your course community. But back to what I've highlighted, leadership, other involvement, here we go. I want to really point out to you, we're about to talk about Biochemistry Club. Their executive board was elected in the spring. That's fascinating. They made themselves known so that they could be elected. Other people knew to elect them. We always hope, let's say in the year 2020-21, that's this year, that we're going to elect 1 to 2 freshmen this is going to be March or April 2021. It's coming up soon, actually, so that we can maintain continuity. We do not want all of the executive board to graduate at the same time. That would be terrible. So we always want some new people cycling in. So why not you? It could be you. And then you can put that on your resume. Wonderful. So I'd like you to meet some of this year's e-board. And because now we have 114 participants, I'm just going to start us off with Ariella. I think she's here. Ariella, hang on a moment. We have a couple of people unmuted. So I'm going to mute everyone. And look for Ariella. Ariella, you are here. I'm ready for you.
I am.
I love it.
Hello, everybody. My name's Ariella. I'm a third year in the biochemistry program. I'm also a Spanish minor, and I'm very excited to be your president of Biochemistry Club this year. And I'm very excited to see you all today here at your welcome. A very new thing we've been doing this year is we integrated the biochemistry, the peer mentorship program with biochemistry as a major rather than just housing it within the club. So that's why all of you now have a peer mentor group. And I hope that I will see you all at our meetings. They'll be on Wednesdays at 7 via Zoom.
I haven't applied for that. No, the next time.
Oh,
Don't worry.
but if you need to get on our mailing list, you can drop by Fall Fest later.
All right. And Kathleen?
Hi, yes, I'm here. I'm Kathleen. I am a fourth year student in the biochemistry program, and I am very excited for this year and to meet everyone.
All right. Thank you so much. And Jared, I'm trying to be one person ahead to look and see if you're here. Jared, you are here.
Yeah, hello, I'm Jared. I'm a third year biochemistry undergrad. I'm the treasurer of the club. However,
Did I did it wrong. Oh no.
It's okay.
Sorry.
But that's okay.
I'm
But
trying to
yeah,
think in
I'm
my
a
head
third
whether
year.
I promoted you or demoted you. Well, we'll talk later. I'm sorry, I messed it up.
It's okay.
Yes, we need to do a little swap. My apologies. Okay, Jared, thank you so much. All right,
But
and
yes, I look forward to meeting everybody.
I look forward to being right on everything. Kelly, also here.
Everyone, I'm Kelly. I'm the secretary. I'm a second year biochemistry major, and sorry, my computer's getting a little funky with the light, but I'm a second year biochemistry major and a data science minor. I'm super excited to meet you all. Like Ariella said, we have some really great meetings coming up, so I really hope to see you there and get to talk a little bit more.
So you're among the people that I was pitching to a year ago, because I wasn't the director last year, but I was still the advisor of the club, saying it would be great to be involved, right? You could even be elected to a leadership position that you could put on your resume and fatten it up and give some sparkle. You did it.
Definitely.
Love it. All right, Manav is involved representing the club at a conflicting event, and so he's on the clock. Caitlin is here.
Hello everyone, I'm Caitlin. I'm a second year biochem major minoring in math and psychology. I run our social medias for the club. I post reminders about club meetings and other activities that we do. We have an Instagram, which is GCCNEU, and our Facebook page, which is Northeastern Biochemistry Club.
All right, thanks so much, Caitlin. All right, I'm gonna get everyone muted again, and I will move us on. So, Biochemistry Club, the motto sometimes that you might see for it is promoting favorable interactions. I think it's on the website. We do use it when we have a large event as well. What does that even mean? It refers to what enzymes do, which is we have separate entities coming in and then they're supposed to interact and you're supposed to get new products, and it was going to happen anyway, but an enzyme could make that happen maybe 1,000,000 times faster, maybe 1,000,000,000, maybe even 1,000,000,000,000 or 1,000,000,000,000 times faster. That is not an exaggeration. So Biochemistry Club, the idea behind it is bringing things together and producing what you want with speed, with efficiency. I love it. They have a website. I put the link in the lower left. Their first meeting is going to be by Zoom, and new this year, it's going to be in your Canvas calendar. You can join right through there. The same Zoom meeting info will be, it's a recurring link, so it'll be the same meeting information each time. Currently, it shows that there's a meeting every week, and after the semester schedule is finalized, some of those meetings are going to be deleted, and those will be executive board meetings instead. So you will start to see a few deletions. Peer mentoring groups. So this is new, to have larger groups rather than pairs or smaller groups, and to do it through Canvas. And we're gonna have a few prizes. We want to see that you definitely did something. And so Biochemistry Club created the groups. There was if you recently joined the major, you might not have had time to fill in the, what's the word I'm looking for? The survey, optional survey. But they tried with the information they had to slot students into groups of about 4 or 5 with a common interest if possible. And now is the time when I'm going to see if the prearranged breakout groups that we worked so hard on work during this session. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to give you a lot of instruction. I'm just going to see whether it works. And I'm going to, I think it's going to ask me for a length of time, and I'm going to say 5 minutes. And you're just going to say hello, introduce yourselves. This is not an assignment. This is just hello. Where are you from? Some of you will be new students and some of you will be peer mentors. However, some of the peer mentors have already told me they're on co-op or they have some other conflict. You probably won't see every group member right now. But it's just very casual and we're gonna check it out. So I'm choosing open all rooms. There are 27 of them because the faculty and staff who introduce themselves, they're group 27. And it only gave 30 seconds. All right, I think everyone is back now. I'm going to ask Maureen. Maureen, are you back and you can hear me? I think I see some nodding. I can see your face, so you can either speak or
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Okay, so I got too many questions in the chat to answer them. They were all private messages, and jumping between them, I couldn't do it in time. But it worked interestingly. That was my first experiment with a massive number. It's okay if you were in the wrong place. Only one person joined during this that I'm aware of and asked me where to go, but I couldn't answer it in time. I checked, all of the groups had more than one person, which is good. So I feel like you probably got to talk to somebody. Let's move on. And Otonya joined us. I'm gonna get her to introduce herself in a moment. So let's see. I am going to talk about the September assignment in a moment. I chose an image for this. It's hemoglobin, which is one of the most famous multimers, tetramers. It's a heterotetramer, which means that it has multiple pieces, but they don't work together. They don't work on their own that well. They need to have partners. It's an oxygen carrying protein. We're definitely using it right now in order to transport the air that we breathe, the oxygen that we breathe. The September assignment, you don't need to be able to read it. It's very tiny right here. This is what you will see. I'll activate it when I'm done here and go back into Canvas. And you'll have all of September. What it says is we're looking for convincing proof that in the month of September, you meet either virtually or you can meet up on campus with masks, and that you submit some kind of image that shows that you got to know each other. Over the course of your time as freshmen, then you're going to learn more things from your peer mentors, but the September assignment is simple. Just learn a fun fact about each other and show that you did that. So I'm going to just see if I can ask one question. Here we go. And let's just see if you could talk. See if you can see this polling question. You could talk to one or a few members of your peer mentoring group, or maybe you weren't sure if they were members of your peer mentoring group, or there was some kind of sound problem, or I don't think anyone was on their own, but I was making this question ahead of time, so maybe. I'll give this, I've got 90 responses out of 110. I'll give this another 5 seconds or so and see if you can answer this question. All right. So let's stop it here. And I'm going to share results. Hopefully you can see it. We had about half who could talk to one or a few members of their peer mentoring groups. And we had about a third saying, definitely could talk to some people, weren't entirely sure whether they were members of their group or not, no problem at all. And a couple people saying that they had some issues with something. If there's anything that you want help with, then you have a couple of possible resources. It depends whether you think it's general or specific. The general resource is help@northeastern.edu. That will start a ticket where they can follow and reply and help. It generates a number in their system. So if you think you're having problems that could hinder your academic progress and your ability to join your classes, help@northeastern.edu is what you would do. If it was something specific to this session, like you just joined in the middle and you don't know what your breakout session was, no problem. That's not going to repeat itself. I'm going to stop that sharing. And let's see the sample peer mentoring group assignment that I made based on the fun facts that I learned about my group. Oh, you know what we should do before that is hear from Atonya. Atonya, your slide was much earlier, and I said that your fun fact was that you enjoy hiking and singing. And Atonya, let's hear from you.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late.
No
I was
problem.
actually putting my 1-year-old to sleep, so it just happened to clash right with the timing of this meeting. I'm excited to meet you guys in person, and I think I'll meet you at some point, right? This is the freshman group, so probably when you're taking bioanalytical, I'll get to meet most of you in person. But other than that, I want to be involved in the biochemistry club, so if you join, I look forward to meeting you through that organization as well. But yeah, you've already said, I do love singing. I love the outdoors. I love mountains. So the tendency is, if I can get away, I'll go to the mountains. That's my first choice. So,
All right. Well, you don't know this yet, but I had to, for the purposes of the next slide, I had to pick one summary image for you that had to do with biochemistry. I picked the whole mitochondrion and power, because that's what hiking makes me think of. All right, so I'm gonna do some muting and I'm going to move us on. We're getting close to the end. So this is my group's just mock submission of the September Get to Know You assignment. I made personalized biochemistry t-shirts and with a brief explanation. This is what I would submit for our group of 6. Let's see if I can get it to look proper. You can see it's very rudimentary. For myself, I put a jellyfish and I said that I love water and fluorescent protein. So this is a jellyfish that fluoresces. For Atonya, I put mitochondrion that powers her hiking. For Chris, I put collagen. I used it to make stripes on his shirt. They're long filaments. For David, I gave him the harmanin protein, which is involved in hearing. And for Nathan, I put cortisol bound to the cortisol receptor, and that lowering that is probably something that his hot yoga helps with. And for Maureen, I put the chloroplast, which is the light collecting organelle in plants. And this would be my submission for the September assignment. Most of you have 4 people or maybe 5 in your groups. And so this would be my evidence that we collected together, that we got to know each other. Fun fact, something about us shows that we got together. Can be in any kind of format. The instructions are be creative and show that you got to know each other in September and that you came together. That's it. So that's the end. I'm showing here one final art piece. This is cytochrome C. We're definitely using it right now. It's a key part of the electron transport chain. It allows us to take the fuel that we're taking in every day and convert it into ATP. We need it so badly. We're using it right now. This is a beautiful rendering of it. Action items and then question time. So this presentation is recorded. If you missed anything, you're going to be able to check back later on our Canvas site. There's a little bit of a delay, and then you might receive an automated notification. And there's been a little bit of a confusion about how you get the password if you want to check the recording. I'll give instructions about that again. I'm going to give a reminder about the assignment, how to look at it, and what you need to do. It's very casual. It's to get to know your group. You're going to get advice from the more senior mentors. But for September, it's just meet, interact, get to know something about each other. That's it. Stay safe. Follow the procedures. I'm including the link again. And of course, we have it on our Canvas site as well. If you have questions about biochemistry that we can take care of during this meeting, you can enter them in the chat, or you can also click on participants and use the hand raise function. And I love looking at visual representations of biochemistry, you can see a few of them at the link that's below. Thanks for coming. If you want to stick around and ask any questions, I'm happy to do that. We have a few minutes remaining. Thanks for coming. I'm going to just look back at the chat. I think all of them pretty much are private to me, saying, oh, breakout room. Oh yeah, and one from Atanya. And yeah, no problem. We were happy to see you.
I just
I just have a quick question.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
There's a couple
No,
of
she can go. Mine's not that important. Go ahead.
Lauren,
Is there a list somewhere of where like the group?
Oh yeah, so what happened is two people from the Biochemistry Club e-board said to me that they knew what group they were in and it seemed pretty straightforward. But then someone else this morning said to me that they didn't know what group they were in and sent me some instructions. So I'm going to send that out afterwards. And I think that you'll be able to follow that in a pretty straightforward way. So it may or may not, because I of course don't see the student view, but I had the impression at first that absolutely you can know what group you're in and you can communicate with them easily. Second pass through, it seemed like maybe it's not that easy, but I do have some instructions to send out. When I click on your name, I can easily see what group you're in and every other member of the group. I can't, when I click on you, tell that you have the tools to email each other, but I believe that you do pretty easily. So yeah, that's one of the first things I'll do after this session is I'm going to activate the assignment and also send you instructions. So that was from Lauren, and then someone else was talking at the same time, but I didn't see who it was. Adam, please.
So do some of the groups have more than one mentor in them?
I think everyone does. So
okay, yeah. Okay.
The way that they did it, I believe. So who's more important and who's better than who? Is that what you're asking? Yes, I believe the way that they did it is that because everyone who's a peer mentor said what their educational level was. So I think that they tried to put someone who's pretty senior and someone who's mid-level in the same,
okay.
which was pretty smart because actually it was interesting to see a few people who signed on as peer mentors are graduating in December. So on the one hand, that's really fascinating because you can learn a lot from those peer mentors. But on the other hand, whoosh, they're on their way out. So it's pretty great to have the continuity still.
Yeah.
So they're stacked in terms of seniority.
Okay.
They're diverse, I guess is what I should say, in terms of seniority. So you should, so the mid-level peer mentors, I think, are in a really interesting learning position as well. So I think it works out really nicely, and not that this should be really common, but I think it really strengthens the groups. If someone were to transfer out of the major, then we don't have someone stuck thinking, oh, I'm so lonely. We still have a stable group. So I think it's a really nice structured system.
This is kind of a continuation of the questions about finding the peer mentoring group. So I can see it.
One sec. I need a better display where I can see who's talking. Who could it be? I'm scrolling everywhere. Tell me who you are, please. Oh, is it Grace?
My name's Grace. It's Grace.
Oh,
yeah.
Grace. Hello.
Hi. So I can see my group. Like if I click on people and then groups, I can see which group I'm in, but I can't figure out how to send a message like to the whole group or anything. It doesn't, like I just click on it and it just tells me who's in it.
Oh, I would have experimented with that further, except Ariella, I was thinking based on what you said that you had no problem. Do you want me to check on that further? Are you still there? She is not still there. I can check on it further. She made it sound like no problem, we're ready to go.
Okay, yeah. I can see the group and there's like a button where I could like create an announcement, but it's really unclear who that's gonna send it to and like who gets to see that. And it's not like a chat with the group.
There's also a discussions area that might be better suited for what you want to do.
All right. She said you can email the group members easily.
If you change your bio, you can add your email and your phone number or whatever.
Yeah, most of my group members don't have their email on, so that's...
Yeah, I have the same problem.
Okay, I can fix that. Maybe it was random then that she happened to be in a group where everyone's email was visible. I will fix it. All right. That is not a problem. Okay. Anything else?
I have one more question.
All right, Janice. Yes,
yeah. I just want to know what's the difference between the Biochem undergrad and the Biochem 1000? Because it showed up as two different subjects, but I thought it was the same course or anything.
Sure. So Biochemistry 1000 is a 1 semester credit hour course, and it has an instructor, and it will have, and it's going to appear on your transcript. And so it will affect your GPA if you didn't do what you were supposed to do. But the biochemistry program is a resource. And so it's just where I want to put things.
Okay.
And so there's nothing, I would like to have an assignment because we want you to meet your peer mentors. If you didn't do it, it wouldn't appear on your transcript. It would be sad. It would be not taking advantage of peer mentors, but it wouldn't affect your GPA, right?
Okay.
So the biochemistry program, that's where we can send out announcements like, by the way, an additional section has been added to blah, 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 or interesting volunteer opportunity or something like that, that every single undergrad in the entire major will receive at every level. But BIOC 1000 is a course that only freshmen are registered for, and it's a 1 credit course, and it has instructors and they will teach it. And so 1 week is assigned to me, and for that week, I'm going to come in as kind of a guest and I'll talk to you. But it's going to go week by week, and it has a syllabus, and it's registrar controlled. And so, I mean, technically it could have an exam, although it does not. And what else? Is that clear enough?
Okay, so like, for example, if I want to join the biochem club and then I'll be at the program, I can go through campus and the biochemistry program there to join the club for the Zoom meeting and everything, right?
Yeah, so in the past, we had club meetings in a room, in a classroom in the evening, and so you could just walk in. But they're not giving us a room this semester. So instead, but we only want people from Northeastern to come. If someone was in the biology major and they really wanted to join, we could give them the login information. But we don't want anyone who's not from Northeastern to come. So you have to have Northeastern credentials, and you log in through the biochemistry program information. And yeah, it's going to appear in your calendar, and you can just click on the link, or in the biochemistry program area of Canvas, you can just click on the link. Okay. So biochemistry program is a resource, like a central resource, because you're a biochemistry major. So we'll put things there that we think majors will find useful. Okay. So, but there's no grades associated with anything in there. It's just other items that we think should help you to graduate and be a profitable graduate, knowledgeable, useful graduate.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll look through the program, because I feel like I'm like a little bit lost in all of the technology things. So I guess I can find everything from the program in Canvas. So, okay. Thank you for that.
Everything that is not directly to do with your graded courses should be there. But for your courses that are a part of your schedule, you should have them elsewhere.
Yeah. I just meant like the resources, like outside classroom, like, I don't know. Like
yes,
I
tried to put them all there. Anything that I thought someone from biochemistry would find useful.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
I checked on Canvas to find my peer mentor group, and I couldn't find my name. Like, I don't think I'm part of a group.
Did you join recently?
No, I was
so
part of the
then I'm gonna send instructions after.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I think written instructions will be easier.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Other questions? Okay, I'm going to turn off the recording, and then if there are any final questions, you're welcome to stick around and ask any question that you don't want recorded. And otherwise, I'm so happy that you joined, and I'll have an announcement right after this. So I'm turning off the recording now. Thank you.